Quincy Mayor Thomas Koch for our City Hall update this week. How are you, Mayor?
I'm doing fine, Joseph. How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Good.
Waiting for the April showers to arrive.
Yes, I guess later today.
Yes, looks like that way. But the weather cooperated beautifully for a lot of fun events that happened over the weekend.
Indeed. It's always risky this time of year, right? But Saturday was a terrific day and a lot of activity all around the city.
Looked like about 1,000 people out in the common there for the Spring Has Sprung celebration.
Yeah, it was great. I spent some time up there, and it was great to see so many little ones running around. I mean, they were having a blast. So many great families and different acts and dancers and singers and the laser show. No, it was quite a day up there. I think people were ready for it. Of course, the end of the vacation week, parents are looking for anything to do with the kids, I'm sure.
By then, yes. Go burn off some energy, please.
Exactly, yeah, run around.
And I saw a picture of you holding a very big turtle over at Butler's Pond.
Yes, I was selected to put in the big snapper turtle, and the thing was clawing at me as I was trying to get to the water's edge. But it was fun. That was a nice turnout, and I certainly want to express my gratitude to the whole neighborhood there, the Friends of Butler's Pond. They've been relentless, honestly, and I say that in a good way, in advocating to get that place restored ecologically. And 4,000 cubic yards were removed, and a lot of environmental work done around it, and of course then the return of the turtles, which were taken out and housed for a little bit until the project was finished. And I tell you, as soon as that turtle hit the water, it just paddled away, so seemed to be happy to be home.
Yeah, that's great. It's a nice asset for that neighborhood and really for the whole community. Well, it was just basically a big storm basin for years.
Yeah, I mean, over time the sediment gets in and starts to ruin it. I mean, Dave Murphy and his team at Natural Resources were very, very big part of getting that thing done, and now we've turned our eyes to the Sailor's Home Pond because over time the same thing happens. Leaves get in, sediment gets in. You lose the depth, the oxygen stuff. It just becomes a mess. So over time, hopefully next year, Sailor's Pond will be doing something very similar. It's a little larger in volume than Butler's, but nonetheless be a very similar activity, I believe.
Very good. Can we talk a little bit, Mayor, about the next phase of the Quincy Center redevelopment project? I know you had scheduled last night to speak to the council about a new DIF plan, but the council meeting was canceled, as you're aware.
Yes. So everything will be reintroduced for next week's meeting, at which time we'll be talking about the budget as well. So
right.
It'll be for councilors that are used to short meetings, I don't mean to scare them off, but, probably going to be a little lengthy next Monday night to go over all the items necessary.
Right.
Yeah, so the DIF spending, I think it's DIF number 4. And again, I sometimes forget and throw these acronyms and abbreviations around, but DIF stands for District Improvement Financing. It's a special tool allowed by the Commonwealth that we can capture the new growth in the district, new growth on the values of property as well as actual new properties being built, new buildings being built. And we're able to capture that and then leverage that, use that to pay for public improvements to that area. And that's how the Kilroy Garage was built. The Kilroy Square was built, the McConville and Dunford Streets were built, the Hancock Adams Common was on the beginning start of all this. It wasn't truly DIF, it was more hotel tax and other things. But projects like that, in addition, we'll be acquiring a number of pieces of land which have been identified in our takings under the URDP for some time, including the burnt-out piece up on the 1600s block of Good Health. Next to that, Brothers Roast Beef. In between those two operations, there's been a store that's been burnt out. Gosh, it happened when Jim Sheets was mayor, it's been around a long time.
It's over 20 years, I think.
Yeah, Tasso's Pizza was the place. So the owner has shown little desire to do anything. So, and I believe this may be the second or third time it's flipped since it first was sold. So, at any rate, that's one of them. And then on Hancock Street on the opposite side, back towards Granite Street, between the Family Dollar Store and the old arcade building, there's two buildings there. There's a donut shop in it in Taekwondo. They've also been identified for taking, and we're looking to create a beautiful new pocket park there to connect Hancock Street to McConville Way and the development back there. and on either side of it will be a larger building that's there today. The arcade building, as we announced some time ago, will be a 15-story residential with retail on the first floor, and the Family Dollar store, which is Joe Yacari, will be about 7 stories. It will be a 2-story restaurant as well as workspace and some apartments. So that's part of that next phase. And then we're also looking at the IHOP location to build a new garage, a second garage, which was always anticipated under the development program. So, we're prepared to talk about a number of these items when the council meets and go into finance and get into the details of it. It's been a program that has really done wonders for our city, this DIF program, District Improvement Financing, once again. And we've been called a model in the Commonwealth on how to really maximize its use. So what I said along the way, and I've stuck to it, is that the downtown will pay for itself. So all these improvements people see, that's either through state and federal dollars or through the DIF, which is the taxes on the district itself. So that's been true to form. We've been successful, and this is the next phase to keep it going.
How does the funding actually work, Mayor? Is there a separate kind of DIF account that you would take money out of to purchase these properties, or does it get borrowed up front and then paid back? Or?
Yeah, we borrow up front and then we pay back.
Okay.
So the bond payments, the payments that are made, come out of what we capture in the new value in the downtown.
Mm-hmm.
So it's segregated in the when the assessors and the tax collectors and municipal finance do their thing. They separate it out and they pull it. It then goes separated to pay for those bonds. And to date, we're doing very well with it. So we still have capacity, plenty of capacity in there to meet this newest DIF proposal, which is about $53 million.
What would the 1620 property on Hancock Street be used for?
Well, we would then open it up for development.
I see. Okay. So
Yep.
there'd need to be a new LDA if a developer wanted to purchase that from the city?
That's correct.
Okay. Interesting. And is this the final phase of DIF, or does it continue?
Well, it's certainly the last one on our minds right now. But as we continue to develop in the northern part of the center, by the Quincy Center Station, Dimmock Street, that end, my guess is there'll be something else down the road to help us accomplish some of the challenges in that area for public improvements.
Okay. I know that you have been in discussions with the T about the station. Anything new to report on that?
Nothing new to report.
Okay.
We have been in contact. We have been in discussions, and had discussions both with the developer as well as the general manager of the T, and a number of the players at the T, and they understand it's a priority. And as we know, Mr. Mariano got some of the federal earmark toward that effort at the Quincy Center Station. Anyone that uses the station knows it's old, tired, neglected, whatever word you want to use. It was never pretty to start with, but it needs a major overhaul. And this plan, which the T is working on, would move the busway to the new Port Ave / Bergen Parkway side, make all kinds of improvements to the station, literally rebuild it, ADA, access, et cetera, et cetera. Then that frees up the busway side on the Hancock Street side for development. We don't like the buses coming in off of Hancock anyway. There's a lot of congestion at that intersection, so we put them on a 4-lane road on Bergen. It makes a big difference.
Very good. You mentioned also, Mayor, your budget proposal is coming up. I know that we had talked before recently about you calling your department heads to hold the line. Basically, does that mean no increase?
No, it generally means, what the deal is when I speak to my department is look, hold the line, and then if you've got any special requests, you come and see me. And essentially we've had some requests here or there, some spotty stuff, nothing crazy overall. I am increasing the patrolmen, for example, on the police department by 5 or so. And what that does, by the time you call for a list and go through the process and academy and everything, it's a year and a half before policewoman or man is on the street. So we're always chasing our tail to get the spots filled. So by going a little bit more, we'll call for more names, and hopefully we then will be at the minimum of 175 on a regular basis, if that makes sense. So there's other areas. For example, I think I might have mentioned it before, but a contract on the fuel for the vehicles is up this August, and timing couldn't be worse. So we're expecting a 50% increase in that
Wow.
budget alone.
Really?
So, we've seen we had great numbers for the last few years for gasoline and diesel, but now it's just at a bad time. So things like that are in the budgets, electricity and energy costs, all that goes up.
Yep.
So those are reflected accordingly in the various departments. So, a position here or there, but really mostly just the items that are up because of inflation. I mean, you don't think much about it, but we paint the lines on the city streets twice a year, crosswalks, yellow lines, parking lines. Well, the paint and the materials for that stuff has gone up dramatically as well. So everywhere you look, expense-wise, we're dealing with inflation like people are at their home.
Yeah.
It's very similar. The cost of items is way up. So, that's going to reflect some increases for sure in the budget. But overall, I think it's, it meets the values of what we set in this community. We're providing excellent services in the various departments, and we continue to do that.
Always good to talk to you, Mayor. Really appreciate your time.
My pleasure, Joe. Enjoy the day.
Thank you. You as well.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.